Hey, what's going on YouTube? Hello subscribers, what a do white collar crew. So I've gotten a lot of requests about doing a video on what the day is like working with TMC, what it's like day to day type of thing. So I wanted to give you guys a video. However, this video and the load that I currently am going to be getting on is a 2-day run. So I'm going to try to give you guys a breakdown about all that happens. So starting with the night before. The night before I got to this consignee, I'm over in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am safely parked on their property. They open up at 7 a.m. I set my alarm for 6 a.m. I have been up a little bit more while than that. It's 6 a.m. right now. I've been up since about 5:15. I've already went outside, hence why I'm all bundled up. Went outside, it's cold out there. Pre-tripped the truck. Everything, all the fluids are looking good, tires are looking good, all that kind of good stuff. So it is 6 a.m. They open up at 7. I'm going to go outside and go ahead and start unstrapping these shingles, taking off all the securement, and wait to get unloaded. At that point, I'm going to send in my empty. Now, after that, I would normally wait to get dispatched to load and then have to sit and do my 30 minutes of unloading and inspection after I got dispatched to load. However, this is a little bit unique. I ended up getting pre-planned to load yesterday, so I know exactly, once I get unloaded here, I already know exactly where my next pickup is, and I know where I'm going. So I've already done some trip planning for that load, and it's a killer paying load, so I'm very, very stoked about that. And that's going to be the load that you and I will take this journey on together. But it all starts off with here and now. Wait until 7 a.m. till they get unload, or till I can get unloaded, and I'm gonna go out there and start unstrapping now. All right, so since I have a little bit of time before they open up this gate and get me unloaded, I had time to do some some trip planning a little bit earlier today. So I want to show you guys my line of thinking. So from my location now, hopefully I can get this to zoom in, or maybe not be blurry. If it is blurry, I'm sorry, you guys. As you can know, this is probably the first time I've done this. Anyways, so from here to the shipper on Hunt Street is 43 miles, taking 46 minutes. So I do not want to stop from here, the consignee that I'm delivering these shingles to, that shipper where I'm picking up paper rolls. I do not want to stop. So I'm going to go straight there. Now from there, I need to do a load check within 50 miles. And every 150 miles after that, I need to at least do one load check at least every 150 miles. So from there, I have a Flying J picked out that is 192 miles away. So I am going to definitely need to stop and do a load check after 50 miles here to this Flying J, where I'm going to stop and do a 30-minute break. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive roughly 50 miles. Usually I try to do one way before 50 miles, but if I drive less than 50 miles, I'm going to have to stop and do another load check before I get over to that Flying J. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop between 42 miles and 50 miles, stop and do a load check, so that way I will not need to stop and do another load check to get over to that Flying J. I hope that makes sense, because that'll leave me within 150 miles of that Flying J. I will not need to stop and do a load check. Then from there, I am going to drive to Love's in Alabama. That's going to be 402 miles. It's 6 hours and 21 minutes. And I'm going to drive there and make sure I stop and do load checks along the way. I usually like to break that down. So I'll take 402 miles. Let me grab my calculator here. How you doing, peoples? How you doing? You guys see my dirty truck? It's not that dirty. But 402 divided by 3, that's 134. So I'm going to do a load check at 134 miles and then another 134 miles. And that last 134 miles will get me over to that Love's. That's going to take about 6 hours and 21 minutes. Then that would leave me 10 hours and 6 minutes to drive tomorrow, 592 miles. So I want to make sure today I drive enough that I'm going to be within 11 hours to drive tomorrow to be able to make it all the way there. And this plan here that I have will leave me 10 hours and 6 minutes. I do know of a couple of stops prior to that Love's, just in case I get tired. And I know one farther away down in Birmingham that I can get to if I'm filling up to it tonight. So that'll leave me less of a drive tomorrow. So anywho, that is my trip planning. Whoa, almost dropped it. That is my trip planning that I have done for this load. All right, real quick video or real quick part of this. Got to the shipper. The shipper is really awesome, this place. They actually tarp, they actually strap, and they actually bungee everything for you. I double checked, did a whole trailer swap, left two lumber tarps. I left 10 straps. I left a crap load of bungees. Did my dunnage. Made sure nothing was left over in that box. My old trailer is back on that lot over here. I am picking up this one. It's good to go. I'm ready to roll. All right, so stopped and did my 50-mile load check. Within 50-mile load check, did it around 47. That left me with less than 150 miles to the truck stop. Put some go-go juice in my girl here, so she could get on down the road. I am not gonna fill the tank all the way up. I am really liking the fact that I'm gonna be stopping at a Pilot or Flying J tomorrow and going to be getting fuel again tomorrow during my 30-minute break. So I'm not gonna fill her all the way up. I'm just gonna put about 100 gallons, 75 gallons. Now, while I'm pumping gas, I'm going to go to multitask. I am going to double check all these straps. They're all filling nice and tight. And while I'm here, I am going to take a shower. We are not going to be recording that. Sorry to let you guys down. So, yeah. So far, this is great. Day's been going smooth. Did hit a little bit of traffic because of an accident. Got around it pretty smoothly though, so wasn't bad. And so yeah, after I'm done fueling, I'm gonna crawl over to one of the parking spots, stop, go take a shower, get a quick bite to eat, and hit the road. I will stop and do a load check. I got about 400 miles from here over to the Love's where I plan to stay the night tonight. I might push it a little bit further, I'm not sure. So what I'm gonna do is stop and do a load check probably every 133 miles or so, between 130, 135 miles. So I will grab the camera, just show you one of those quick load checks. But it was pretty much exactly what I just did. I walked around the truck and felt the straps. That's about it. Nothing crazy. Not brain surgery by any means. Other than that, getting loud around here a little bit to go, and you guys will see what'll happen next. All right, well, I decided to stop a little bit longer than 135 miles because I'm going to go to a Flying J, which is in Birmingham, Alabama, which is the farther location tonight for me to stop. So I actually do a load check around 150. And real simple, man. You just walk around the trailer, you fill your straps, look and listen at the tires and the air, keep your cautions on, fill these straps, look at the bungees. See, like this bungee, I wouldn't mind holding that one down. I'm gonna take this, give it a good pull. There, see? Stuff like that. And that's it. Takes just about a minute to walk all the way around the trailer and the truck. Going back, you want to make sure you look, make sure it's safe. Totally is. And you guys, that's a load check. Power off. All right, so the night has ended. I have made it all the way down to Birmingham, Alabama. 672 miles of driving today, using all of my 11 hours on my clock. Actually, to be honest with you, I did 11 hours and 1 minute. So I ended up sending in hours of service overage. Gosh, that's tough to say. Hours of service overage to my company. And yeah, it's 1 minute over. Not a big deal at all. But it would be a big deal if DOT pulled me over and saw it. I think they would not be too pleased with that, but it's 1 minute over. There's got to be some leniency, right? So I'm just doing a quick post trip on my truck, looking at all my tires and checking the straps again. Everything is feeling nice and tight. It's been a heck of a day. I am excited for my 10-hour break. Truck and trailer is looking good. Anyways, yeah, been a heck of a day. 11 hours of driving. 11 hours and 1 minute of driving. And 672 miles later, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama. I pushed it hard today for an easier day tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm only going to have 9 hours and 40-minute drive to just south of Tampa, Florida, and Gibsonton, Florida. So it'll be a very easy day. Now, I've got about 9 hours and 40 minutes of driving to do. So I want to make sure that what I'm trying to say is I got 9 hours and 40-minute drive, right? So I want to make sure that I drive at least 1 hour and 40 minutes before I stop and do a 30-minute break. So that way I do not need to stop and do another 30-minute break to be able to make it all the way there. But what I'm going to do is drive well more than an hour and 40 minutes into my drive before doing a 30. I'm actually going to drive about 6 hours straight and then do my 30-minute break, which after that I'll only have about 3 hours and 40 minutes left to drive. So should be an easy drive tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I'm going to hit the sack, start off the day tomorrow with a pre-trip on the truck. I'm going to add a spot to in my navigation to stop and get fuel, do a 30-minute break at, and that's pretty much it. So plan out my load checks, get over to the consignee tomorrow evening, which will be Wednesday night, and get unloaded first thing Thursday morning. Anyway, so far I hope you guys are enjoying the drive. That was today. Let's see how tomorrow goes. All right, good morning. Again, really hope you guys enjoyed day one of this 2-day load, and a little recap of yesterday, just in case you guys didn't quite catch it. It was a long day. As I mentioned, I drove 11 hours and 1 minute. I also had loading time. I also had unloading time. But the main part I was trying to get at is my alarm was set yesterday morning at 6 a.m. I ended up waking up quite a bit earlier than that, like 5 or so. But anyways, that's not the point. 6 a.m. was the ideal time to wake up and start working, start unstrapping, all that kind of good stuff. And I ended up parking just shortly after 9 p.m. Let's do the math on that. That's a 15-hour day. So, this job is not easy. You're gonna lose sleep. I did have a full 10-hour break over here, but you know what I'm trying to get at. Like, it's not easy. It's hard work. It's lots of hours. You know, it's tough. But it's also very rewarding. It's also lots of fun. Every day is a new challenge. And yeah, so anywho, all right. So that was yesterday. Again, today's a new day. My alarm was set for 6, and once again, I woke up early. No, my alarm was set for 6:57. I apologize, because that was exactly just about 9 hours and 50 minutes from when I ended up pulling into the parking lot over here. So, already woke up this morning. Woke up earlier than my alarm. Did a pre-trip. And wanted to go take a shower. Their showers are down. All they have is cold water. So I'm not gonna take a cold shower, not in this cold weather. And I wanted to shave this beautiful face of mine right here, you know, but I'm not gonna do that in cold water either. So got me some powdered donuts, got me some strawberry milk because they ran out of regular milk. And yeah, so all right, so today's plan is a 9-hour and 40-minute drive. Not bad at all. What I was trying to say earlier on my last night's video is that I got a 9 hours and 40-minute drive. I want to drive at least an hour and 40 minutes before I stop and do a 30-minute break, because I have to do a break, 30-minute break, no more than 8 hours of consecutive driving. So I want to get within 8 hours remaining to my destination before I stop and do a 30-minute break. So my plan is today, as I briefly mentioned yesterday, I wanted to do about 6 hours. I looked at the map last night, and yep, there happens to be a pilot into Florida 6 hours away. So don't know the exact miles, but I'm gonna do a load check at 120 miles, which is roughly 2 hours, 120 miles, which is roughly 2 hours, and then the last 2 hours I will be there. So to the pilot to get fuel and try to take a shower. So yeah, other than that, that's how the morning's gone. Can't take showers, no big deal. That made me sad, so I got some strawberry milk and some donuts. That made me happy. So anywho, I will check in with you guys later on today, let you know how today's driving is going. Well, 2 days of driving is done. I have made it to the consignee. Wow, I really like this light over here. It makes my forehead look super bright. Anywho, my paper rolls are safely parked at the consignee. It was 20 hours of driving, and you know what? So worth it. Let's do some math, okay? We're gonna do some math. My load paid $3,500, $3,524 to the truck, all right? Now, I get 33% of that, which is $1,100, rounding up, $63. Now, I drove 20 hours. If I take 1,163, divide that by 20 for 20 hours, I made $58.15 an hour. $58.15. Now, I gotta promise you, it's not always like that, you guys. For sure. This is just an amazing paying load. It's one of my favorite loads that I get. I've gotten it probably 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I don't know. But I've got it quite a few times. One of my favorite loads. Pays very well. Travels down the road easily. And overnight parking allowed at the consignee. Yeah, so anyways, great paying load. One of my favorite loads. Anyway, so it's gonna get delivered tomorrow. And what else was I gonna tell you guys? Oh, today's drive. Today's drive was very non-eventful, just the way you like it. Kind of comical though. I did stop sooner than I planned to, because the pilot that I was going to stop at to hopefully get a shower, I saw that they are doing renovations to the property, which usually means no shower. That's what lately it's been like. So I ended up seeing a pilot nearby, so I stopped there. No renovations going on. Go inside to go get a shower, all happy with my bag, They don't have any showers available. It was upsetting. So I have not showered today, but I have not done any work today either. All I did was drive, so I'm not terribly smelly. I don't think. Anyways, so yeah, so non-eventful day. I didn't do much recording. I did stop and get fuel. You guys already saw what that was like. I stopped into my load checks. You guys saw what that was like. So pretty much, you guys, that is a typical day, a typical 2-day load with TMC. It is now a little after 7 p.m. over here, maybe 7:30, 7:45, and I'm gonna get some sleep. This place opens up at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm gonna wake up at 6. I'm gonna start taking off my straps. That's the first thing I do. And then I start taking off bungees. And then I go inside, say good morning, let them know I'm here, show them my paperwork, and ask for permission to untarp. Once I get that permission, I will untarp and get this get my truck backed into the bay there and get unloaded. Now, coincidentally, I have a pre-planned load for tomorrow, and so once I get unloaded here, I could just take off, which is fantastic because I might get unloaded here at 7. My fleet manager doesn't even get in until 8, so I'm able to just take off from here and go to my shipper without having to wait until 8 a.m. at least to start getting unloaded or start getting dispatched to load. So yeah, everything's great. I'm happy. What a huge week I'm having. This load being delivered puts me at 6,800. My next load puts me at 7,600 for the week. So you guys can do the math. I make 33% of what is given to the truck. I rounded $7,600. I think $7,654, something like that. I don't know. 7,600 times 33%. That's what I'm gonna get, which is roughly, according to my calculations, $2,500. So I made $2,500 this week, which I will get paid for next Friday. Anyways, that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little adventure. It's a very unique video. Haven't done one like this before. Pretty lengthy. Hope you guys stuck it all the way through. And yeah, hit that notification button. I plan to make much more videos. I plan to. You guys know how I've said it before. Hit that notification button. Hit that subscribe button. Hey, and if you feel like it, support my channel. If you enjoy my videos, if you enjoy the smiles at the very end of my videos, if my videos ever made you laugh, if my videos ever just gave you some knowledge about the trucking industry, if it motivated you to come to the trucking industry, motivated you to join TMC, hey, support the channel. Show some love. Hit that membership button. Hit that join button. But you don't have to. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Oh my goodness, you know what to do. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful smile. You got a great one.